help you understand what rounding is, let's think about how numbers are usually used. Most of the time, numbers are used to represent amounts of things, like how many miles it is to the supermarket, or how many days until your birthday, or how many students went to your high school. How many students went to my high school? Oh, about 2,000. Okay, but it wasn't exactly 2,000, was it? Well, no, it was more like 1,900. But it probably wasn't exactly 1,900 either, was it? Well, no, it was more like 1,860. All right, fine. 1,863. See what I did there? At first, the number used to represent the students at high school was a round number. It was a good estimate of how many students there were, but it wasn't exact. The next two numbers were a little closer to the truth, but they were still estimates. Only the final number represented the exact amount of students at the school. All three of the estimates are rounded versions of the exact count, but they have different levels of precision. 1,860 was the most precise estimate, and 2,000 was the least precise estimate. So rounding a number basically means making a less precise version of it. And as you can see, there's usually multiple ways to round a number depending on the level of precision that you need. A really good way to understand what's going on when you round a number is to look at a number line. Here's 1,863. If we want to round it to the nearest 10, we need to decide if it goes up to 1,870 or down to 1,860. But if we want to round it to the nearest 100, we need to decide if it goes up to 1,900 or down to 1,800. And if we want to round it to the nearest 1,000, we need to decide if it goes up to 2,000 or down to 1,000. And in each case, the decision was based on which round number was closer to the original exact number. But you might be wondering, why would we ever want to make a number less precise in the first place? What is rounding good for? Well, rounding numbers can often make them a lot easier to do calculations with. Like, it would be a lot easier to quickly add 300 and 500 than it would be to add 312 and 498. Or, sometimes you just don't need very much precision. Like, you might not need to know that your dog weighs 55.83297 kilograms. 55.8 kilograms might be precise enough.
Guys, here I am teaching from space. Well, how do we round to the nearest 10? Today we're going to learn two ways to do this. And one is to remember a rule that says that from 1 to 4 you round down, right? And from 6 to 9 you round up. What does that mean? If we're rounding to the nearest 10, then if it's 4 or less, we're going to focus on the previous 10 of the given number. And if it's 5 or more, we're going to focus in the next 10. So what does that mean? Let's learn through example. Here it says 347. What number is in the 10th position? The number 4. So think about it, 47. What is the previous 10 as a round number? Previous 10 before 47, it is 40. And what is the next 10 after 47? 50, right? Then we have our rule. 7 rounds up because it's right here, as you can see. It's right here in this group of numbers. So 7 rounds up. Therefore, we round to the next 10. The next 10 to 47 is 50. So we're going to write here 350 because we didn't do anything to the 300, right? We were just focusing on the tens and on the number to the right. So it's 350. That is one way. There is another way to do this, and is using a number line. To use a number line, we still have to know what is the previous 10 and the next 10 after a number. So what is the previous 10 before 347? 340. What is the next 10 after 357? 350. Then we're going to locate or find this number in our number line, right? So let's do it. I'm going to count by ones because as you can see, I have 10 jumps here or 10 gaps. So 340, 341, 42, and 43, and 44, and 45, and 46, and 47. So 347 is right here. Now tell me, is 347, closer to 350 or to 340? Yes, it's closer to 350. And again, round to the nearest 10. That's the first thing. So we're going to focus on the tens and we're going to look at the number to the right, okay? So we have 283. What is the previous 10 to 83? 80. And what is the next 10 after 83? 90. Now our rule, 3 rounds down. 3 is the number we're focusing at. 3 rounds down. So we'll go to 80. Therefore, we will say that our answer is 280. Using our number line, we have the previous 10 and the next 10, 80, 90. So we can find 283. 81, 82, 83. Is it closer to 80 or to 90? To 80. So we are correct. Now let's round to the nearest 100. It's pretty much the same, guys, here. We're going to work with the hundreds, but we're going to focus on the number to the right, right? So our rule is that the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 round to the previous 100. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds to the next 100. So what is the previous 100 here? 200. And the next 100? 300. Right. Then we're going to focus on the number to the right of the hundreds, which is 9. And our rule says that 9 rounds up. So if it rounds up, we go to the next 100. And it will be 1,300. Remember, we don't touch the thousands because we're working with hundreds. And if we work with a number line, then we have 200 and 300. And if we have 10 gaps, we count by tens. So where is 1,000 or 293? 210, 220, 30, 40, 50, 60, 270, 280, 290, and a bit more, 93. So is it closer to 300 or to 200? Yes, to 300. Therefore, we still have 1,000 here and 300. We're correct. Now to the nearest 1,000. It's exactly the same. It's just that here we're going to focus on thousands. We're going to look at the number to the right. And again, what is the previous 1,000 of 2,137? 2,000. What is the next 1,000? After 2,137, 3,000. Right? Now, the number next to the 1,000, the number to the right is 1. So our rule says that we go to the previous 1,000, which is 2,000. So we will round saying that 2,137 rounds to 2,000. There we go. And if we want to use a number line, 2,137 will be here because it's 100, 200, 300, right? It's 1,000. 2,137. Is it closer to 2,000 or to 3,000? To 2,000. So we are correct. So as you can see, those are the two ways you can use, or two methods you can use to round to the nearest 10, 100, or 1,000. Good luck!